As if we needed more reason to hold off on buying new June LEGO sets, LEGO is about to release one of the most exciting LEGO gifts with purchase ever made, and I say that with the most bias possible, because this is a gift with purchase based on Jules Verne books, which is my absolute favorite thing in the entire world, hence the bias. At the time of making this video, no official pictures have been released, but the sources that this is coming from are fairly reputable. This is going to be called the Tribute to Jules Verne books. It's going to be a 12+ set with 351 pieces, and it's going to be a gift with purchase on the 21st of June. No price threshold has yet been released, but I imagine for a set of that size, it'll probably be, I don't know, maybe a couple $100. Here's the description of this set that's come from the #LegoLeaks sources. This set pays homage to Jules Verne books with a small microscale diorama. It's in the form of an open book with a brick-built bridge that includes a black train on it. The train in multiple places I've seen referred to as the Jules Verne train, or train time machine, or the time train. That makes me nervous, and I'll tell you why in a minute. There's also going to be a micro-scale brick-built hot air balloon and a golden Nautilus submarine, which is what I'm most excited about. And we are getting an official Jules Verne minifigure. If you look at past gifts with purchases that have been called tributes, there's some interesting results. A tribute to Galileo Galilei, released recently, has an actual Galileo minifigure and some very interesting pieces of the set, which we'll talk about in a second. There was a tribute to Jane Goodall, which is a great opportunity to access our more arboreal ancestors' activities, if you know what I mean. Again, with an actual minifigure of an actual person. Tribute to Amelia Earhart, same general deal. Charles Dickens tribute, a little different and a little similar because it also is on a book base but not an open book. In terms of open book designs, most notably there was a set called Creative Personalities, which literally there's just an open book, but it was a reference to Hans Christian Andersen. There was also a pop-up book official set, but the book itself on that, it's not very interesting looking. Here's my thoughts on some different parts of this set. The open book idea, I like. The mini diorama idea, I like also. I think we're gonna have multiple levels of motion, which is actually like, that's a motif in Disney parks of like Skyliner, then the monorail, then you have the Tomorrowland Speedway, and then underwater the Nautilus and the submarine ride. But that's kind of what I'm picturing, right? Hot air balloon on top and then a bridge with a train in the middle and then the Nautilus underneath it, instead of like three separate scenes, like one large scene with three separate elements in it. The first element there, the time train, what that inspires in me is trepidation. I'll tell you why. What's the first thing you think of when I say time train? Is it the time machine train from the end of Back to the Future 3 when Doc Brown reveals that his kids are named Jules and Verne, even though the train itself has nothing to do with Jules Verne? There is no time traveling train in any Jules Verne novel, and so those two, they're not mixing for me. And this is coming from me, who is a BTTFBFB, which is a Back to the Future big fanboy. I would like more than anything to have a Back to the Future 3 style time traveling train official LEGO set, but I do not need that in microscale in a Jules Verne set, which has nothing to do with Back to the Future. Second element, if you think I'm full of hot air, you should get a load of this brick-built hot air balloon, which once again inspires in me a feeling of trepidation. Here's why. When I say hot air balloon and Jules Verne, what's the first thing you think of? Is it Around the World in 80 Days? That's not uncommon. Unfortunately, what you're probably thinking of is the 1956 movie adaptation of the book, in which they'd spend a whole lot of time in a hot air balloon, but in the novel, there's not a single time when they travel via hot air balloon. They use plenty of other modes of transportation, including trains, but no hot air balloon. Where they do spend a lot of time in a hot air balloon is in 5 Weeks in a Balloon, which may not be one of the more popular Jules Verne books, but it was the very first book in the Voyage Extraordinaire series of books, which are like the adventure books, which are all the books that you actually know and love, and that was the first one. And so, if that balloon is a reference to 5 Weeks in a Balloon, I am very excited. If it's a reference to anything else in the Jules Verne world that's not accurate, I am not excited. But do you know what I am excited about? It's been playing behind me this entire time. It's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's my absolute favorite Jules Verne book. And the Nautilus, well, that's my white whale of a LEGO set. Ironically speaking, because originally they thought the Nautilus was a cetacean itself. But the exciting thing is this will be the first ever official LEGO Nautilus, even if it is at a micro scale. I am confused that they say it's going to be in a golden color. It's never shown or depicted or written about or described as being golden, but I guess, like, I don't know, LEGO's like, let's make the set look fancy and cool and futuristic and just don't use too much imagination, LEGO. Like, I get Jules Verne, the whole thing is like, it inspires imagination and future thinking and things, but like, to a certain, the set has to be accurate to the books because it's based on books, right? And you can't be like, we're gonna make this based on people's perception of Jules Verne, not the actual Jules Verne novels. And you can see, let me talk about some of my hopes and fears regarding this set, and then we'll wrap this up. Here's a fear and probably minor disappointment. I think this gift with purchase is releasing entirely independently, as in it's not coming out alongside a larger Jules Verne set like the Eiffel's apartment did when it came out with the Eiffel Tower, and the only way you could get it was to buy the Eiffel Tower. This one seems to be entirely by itself, i.e. Goodall or Galileo. But keeping this Galileo set in mind, that's something that I'm hopeful about, because look at the table in front of Galileo there. What's that? It's an orrery, maybe much like the Lego set that came out very recently. Maybe the Nautilus in this little gift with purchase is a hint, an Easter egg at an upcoming larger Nautilus set. A guy can dream, okay? Don't crush my dreams before they even have a chance to become reality. And so, in case you can't tell, I'm very excited about this gift with purchase. I will be ecstatic to get it, no matter how it looks and what it looks like. I will definitely make a video on it when it is released, and I will probably talk extensively again about my love of Jules Verne. Let me know if you're excited about this set in the comments down below. Tell me your hopes and fears and trepidations in regard to this Lego set, or just in regard to your life. As always, thanks so much for watching, and if you see official pictures of this set anywhere on the internet, please send them to me as quickly as possible. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. I'll see you next time.